everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be sharing an art journal layout and I'll be using mostly acrylic paints. Now my layout did start off really messy and it was muddy when I added all my paints on my background, but I'll show you guys how I went ahead and fixed that, and hopefully this video will be helpful for you all in the future if you should run into the same issues that I had at the beginning of this layout. So today I will be working in my black Dylusions creative journal, and the products that I use I will go ahead and list it down below. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. Now I did pull out these acrylic paints, and these are the Liquitex brand. I grabbed a pink, a yellow, the black, titanium white, and a gray as well. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and add 2 sheets of paper behind the background paper that I'll be using today, so that way I won't get the rest of my pages messy. Now, first mistake I made here, I'm not sure what I was thinking, but I added too much paint, and once I started mixing all of the colors on my background, you'll see that it turned a little bit muddy. So I really wanted to see the gray with the pink and the yellow background, and I did add in a bit of white just to tone down the colors a bit because they are bright colors. Now if I was to do this background all over again, I would leave out the gray. I will add the white, the pink, and the yellow, and less of it of course. And then I would dry my background and then add in bits of gray here and there just to add a pop of that gray together with that yellow and pink, which I think will look really good. But as you can see here, once that gray mixed with that yellow and then the pink added in, it just blended. It was just too much paint on the background and they all blended together a bit too much. They each did not stand out on their own. But you'll see in a few moments how I'll go ahead and fix this. So now I'm going to attempt to fix my background, and the first thing I did was to dry my paint that was already on there, and that way when I add this yellow it won't mix into what's there already, it will sit on the top. And now to tone down the background, I will go ahead and add some titanium white over everything. And it still looks a bit messy right now, but it will all come together in the end. So right now you can see I added in that black border, and I did use some acrylic black paint to do that, and that will actually be worked on again later on in this video. It's not complete, but I did add in that border to begin with. And now I'm adding some stenciling, and I am using that same pink acrylic paint that I used on the background along with a Martha Stewart stencil. And I believe I purchased this at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and I really love that pop of pink on this background. So now I'll begin working on my focal points on my layout. So next up, I will go ahead and dilute that acrylic paint with a bit of water. And I will use a fan brush to get some really small splatters on my background. And after that, I will go ahead and add some black splatters as well. I will be using some black India ink, and I will use a paintbrush and add some pretty big splatters with that paintbrush. So if you guys find this video was helpful today, be sure to leave me a thumbs up before you leave. If it is your first time here on my channel, I hope you take a look around. If you like what you see, go ahead and click that subscribe button as well. Now, if you guys would like to see anything in particular on my art journal layouts as far as techniques or products, leave me a comment down below. I am very open to suggestions for these process videos. Now here I am going to go ahead and outline my florals, and I will be using that Signo white gel pen. And here I'm also outlining it once again using this black Posca paint pen. Next up, I will add my focal point, which will be the silhouette. And this is a Dina Wakley stamp. And you'll see I will outline it with that Signo white gel pen. I will go back in and use my black Posca paint pen because I thought it was just a bit too faded into the background. I wanted it to stand out a bit more. And I am scribbling where there are scribbles on that stamp, but it did not show up as well as I wanted it to. So I will go in with that white gel pen and add those scribbles in once again. So right now I'm just adding some tiny word phrases from the Tim Holtz booklet, and it says, "Listen to your heart, it will show you the way, trust your crazy ideas." Up next, I will go ahead and seal those in using some matte gel medium, and this is from Dina Wakley. Then I'll grab my Dylusions hexagon stencil, and I will stencil in some of those hexagons all over my layout. Now I am using that titanium white paint, acrylic paint, but on that dauber there is a bit of the pink paint that I used on the stencil. I'm sorry, on the floral stencil. So it will mix with the white, which I am completely happy with. I did not want it to be stark white because it would have just stood out a bit too much on that page. So we get a pretty good mix of white with a little bit of pink added in as well. So now for my title, which will read "Finding Peace in the Chaos," and I am using these Dilutions alphas to add that title. I will also go in with my Faber Castell marker just to outline those alphas just a bit more, so they will stand out a bit more. Now you can see I just did not feel like I had a good balance on the right side of my layout when I added in that bold title to the left. So I will go back in with some black acrylic paint and add some more of those hexagons all over my layout, especially over the silhouette. Now I did lose a bit of footage, but you may have noticed that my border is a bit darker right now. And before I added that hexagon stencil, I did darken the border using a distress crayon in the color Black Soot. And you saw where I added in some doodles all over my background using that white Signo Gel Pen. Now I also added a tiny bit of stamping to the background, which you'll see in the close-up shots in just a few moments. And will go ahead and add that stamp that I used down below. So here my layout is pretty much all done, and I really love how it turned out. I love the pop of pinks with those florals. I do not see as much gray as I envisioned it in the beginning, but that's the thing with art journal layouts. It does not always turn out how you want it, but I really loved how this one turned out. And even though you may run into problems here and there while you're creating, just keep going. There's always a way to add to your layout to cover up any of those things that you may not like. There are no mistakes with art journaling. There's just things that you may not like. And like I said, there's always a way to fix it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this layout today. And I hope you'll come back to see more. And I want to thank you all for watching. So until my next video, bye.